Alrighty. Well, okay, cool. Alright, hello everybody who's watching. Thanks for joining us. This is our next episode of the Student Athlete Live interviews. Before we get started, I just kind of wanted to tell you guys about the purpose of the purpose of the series, and it's basically just a way for student athletes to get their name out there, get their story out there, share some experiences and advice that they have for other student athletes, and basically what life is like as student athletes. So if you're interested in participating or know anybody who might be interested, feel free to message us and we will set that up. We're just waiting for Jordan to join us, and he will introduce himself in a moment. But we also have a lot of new cool updates on the app, on the Sports Finder app. If you want to go check that out, we've added a social media feature which just allows athletes from all over to just kind of gives them a platform to be together and post pictures, post videos, post experiences, and everything like that. So if you haven't checked that out, go download the app and check it out. Just wait a little bit longer for Jordan. Oh, there he is. All right. Okey-dokey.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing great.
Good. All right. How's it going? Good. All right, one sec. All right, well, if you just want to introduce yourself to everybody watching, just your school, your position, vision, anything like that. I can't hear. This is weird. I still can't hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, obviously. One sec. All right. Well, I wonder if everybody else can hear you.
And drop a green heart in the chat if you can hear me.
I can hear you now. All right. Hopefully people can hear you. All right. Well, hopefully I can hear you now, so we should be good. All right. Okay. Well, thank you for joining. Okay. Some green hearts. Nice. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, if you are ready, we can get started with some questions. Awesome. All right. Just to start, when did you start playing football? How old were you when you started playing? When you're 5. All right. I still can't hear you, but I can kind of like read your lips. So we'll just, if other people can hear you, then we should be good. All right. So what made you decide that you wanted to play in college?
I wasn't always sure what sport I was going to play. It was between ball and football. And hold on, everybody said they can't hear. Let me go grab some headphones.
Okay. Just wait a sec. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, so I still got to untangle these.
It's all good. No rush.
Hello, is that better?
Yes, much better. Perfect.
Gotcha.
All right. So would you just, I think I kind of heard you, but would you just say again when you started playing football and how old you were? Or
I started playing football when I was 5.
mhm, 5. All right. And what made you decide that you wanted to play in college?
Well, I got around my 10th grade year. I was a dual sport athlete playing basketball and football, trying to
Mhm.
see, which one was going to, be my call and which one was going to jump out. And
Yeah.
I ended up getting my first 2 football offers from Clemson and Georgia Tech in like the same day. So, I mean, after that day, it was kind of like uphill for football.
That must have been a good day.
It was a great day.
So how old were you? Did you just say what year were you when that happened?
10th grade.
10th grade, right? So were you looking at schools in like freshman year? Was that when you kind of started the recruitment process?
Nah, freshman year, I was just playing. I really didn't talk to many more schools. And
Yeah.
then coming into my sophomore year, I transferred to Lithonia, and
Mhm.
after that season, I started getting recruited kind of heavily.
Yeah. So, what were some things that you were looking for in school since you were getting all these offers? What was like when you were looking at them? What were the things that stood out to you, or you wanted to stand out to you in these schools?
Um, I was looking for winning programs. I was looking for coaches who, had a good background, as far as getting guys out, how they coach and, what type of people they are. So all of that played into part.
So, did you when you went to go visit schools and everything? Do you think that was a good way to help you decide to visit and everything?
Yeah, the visits really helped me, getting to see how the coaches interact with their players and, how they talk, how they speak, how they, just go about. And all that kind of played a part.
Hmm. So, what was the reason that you decided on the school you did?
I decided to go to Florida out of high school because, I mean, it was a great coaching staff. They were coming off a pretty good season.
Hmm.
And the coaches at Florida really stood out to me. They were very open to me about everything. They didn't sugarcoat anything to me. They let it be known that, it's going to be work, it's going to be a challenge, but we're here to develop you and we're here to make you the best player. So, that kind of stood out when I went to Florida and all the other schools. Uh, I wouldn't say they didn't give me that, but I kind of had like more reassurance at Florida where with my coaching staff there.
That's a good reason to want to go there. So, what was the recruitment process like for you before you kind of had those offers?
It was pretty slow, just kind of going to camps, trying to get out there, get my exposure out there. But I mean, like I said, after that 10th grade season, it was pretty a drastic jump from, talking to nobody to talking to everybody. So it was a big process.
Yeah, that's a good one. So, did you have any like videos that you were putting out there, or did you have any strategies on how you were getting those coaches to see you?
Actually, no. I mean, I never like, hit anybody up. I never DM'd the coach. I never, posted my film a lot. I kind of had coaches at my high school who, had a lot of coaches that, called them and stuff. And I just kind of went through like my head coach.
Yeah, that's good. So they kind of just reached out to you.
Yeah.
That's nice. So, what would you say your favorite part about being a student athlete is?
Um, Probably the games. I mean, the games, just having that fan base behind you, having everybody, yelling for you. I mean, those feelings right there are just, untradeable.
Mhm. We have a question. What caused the drastic jump and what made people interested all of a sudden, do you think?
I mean, my freshman year I was at a different school, playing freshman. I didn't play varsity. My 10th grade year when I transferred, I played JV for probably about 5 games, and then I finished off the rest of the season on varsity. And I did real good that my sophomore year to be a sophomore, and I was 6'6", so that kind of like
Oh,
boosted my stock a little
yeah.
bit.
Um, what were some things that you were working on? Like, what would you say is something that you've improved on since then, or something that you wanted to improve on that you did?
Uh, I got a lot faster. Got a lot stronger.
Mhm.
Got a lot more, coordinated. Filling out my body because I was young and I was, 6'6", so it was kind of hard to, move all my body. So I got kind of adjusted to that.
Yeah. Did you have a lot
And
of coaches and everything?
you said that one more time.
You have a lot of guidance from your coaches and everything like that?
Yes, I did. My coach, I mean, still to this day, like my high school coaches are, very influential to me and they're very like a big part of my process. Even till now, like going into the next level, they still, just give me lots of, pointers, always checking on me, staying in my corner, just doing just the little things that they do.
That's great. That's so good to keep in touch with them. Um, all right. What would you say is the most difficult part about being a student athlete?
The most difficult part is most definitely managing your time, the small amount of time that you have, managing that, and just getting things done. Because like once you get done with football, you only have a minimum amount of hours before you have to go back the next day. And you have a lot of stuff that you have to do, from homework to cleaning, cooking, eating, regular household activities, on top of being a student, on top of being an athlete. So just managing your time, that was probably the hardest transition from like high school to college.
Um, how have you been or how did you do that? How do you manage your time and everything like that?
I mean, just keeping up with, not letting time, not losing track of time, making sure like every minute that you use, you're using it to its most value. You know what I'm saying? You're not just not slacking off, but, not just sometimes not doing anything or,
Mhm.
just not being productive.
Yeah, that's a good point. We have
So yeah, just making sure I always stay productive. That's probably how I did that.
That's hard sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
I hear that got asked, but what keeps you motivated through all? It can be tough.
What keeps me motivated? My family. I know that, just because it's just me on this, interview, it's not just me that is affected by it. So just know that I have, people that are, you know, not banking on me, but they're in my corner for sure. And just know that I have a lot of support. People that, they love seeing me do what I do, and that keeps me going.
It's really nice to have. So what would you say is a goal that you have for yourself this new year?
This new year, my goal is to take advantage of every opportunity that I get because, my transition started off with one opportunity and that led to another and that led to another. So I just figured out, the key to me in my life is just making the best out of every opportunity that you get.
Yeah, that's good. Good point. So you guys are done for the season, right?
Yes, we finished off with a conference championship like we hoped. So, go Blazers.
Congrats, that's awesome. Wow, very impressive. So was it weird with COVID?
Yeah, it was the season that we had. I mean, nobody could have dreamt it up. It was just crazy. I mean, we started off, we were probably like the only team in the country, with no positives and stuff like that. And then like midway through the season, we got a couple guys that got positive, and then we had four games canceled back to back to back. And
Wow.
then right after those four canceled games, we ended up scheduling a game against Rice, and we ended up beating them and end up getting into the conference championship with all those games missed. So that was big. And then we went down and won the championship game on the road. So it was amazing, amazing season. I mean, I wouldn't trade it for anything, even though we had the four missed games, whatever. The just the just the fact that nothing stopped us. Like we had a plan before COVID to win it's not the national championship, but win the conference championship. And I mean, we did it regardless of all the, adversity that we went through, all the trials, all the tribulations. We still came out and we did what we wanted to do.
That's so impressive, especially with everything that happened. It's a lot of unknowing and everything. That must have been so hard going from missing 4 games to playing a game. That's
Yeah. Our coaches told oh, oh, there you go. They said that like we know that you guys, haven't played in I think it was like 42 days. They said like 42 whole days, like we haven't played a game. And I mean, we just went out there and went hard. I mean, it was tough for sure. That was probably one of the toughest games of the season, just because of us not being able to practice how we wanted to, and because of the COVID things happening. But I mean, we went out there, we had a plan. I mean, we pushed and we succeeded.
Get it. Yeah, that's really good. What were you guys? How were you during that time off during those 4 games that got canceled? Were you able to practice like with the whole team?
So we practiced all up until the point of them canceling the game. So some days we'll practice like Sunday, Monday. The game get canceled on Tuesday. They'll cancel practice on Tuesday, and we'll just come back in on like Saturday and start for the next week. And then we'll practice. It was one week we practiced almost all the way until like the next day. We were supposed to be flying out to play, and we were doing our last walkthrough practice. And at the end of practice, coach said, "Well, they just canceled against us." So I mean, it was a lot of up and down feelings, mixed emotions going on. But I mean, I think that what we did the best is that we stayed true to what we wanted to do, straight to our plan.
Yeah, absolutely. We have another question. Was there ever a moment you felt like giving up? If so, why?
No, never. I don't know what giving up means. So no, I never thought about giving up. Never crossed my mind.
Did you think that like the rest of the season may be canceled?
Yeah, I mean, it was one point we didn't even think we were going to have a season, but we didn't stop working. Like even when the whole country was like, "Yeah, we're not going to play. We're not going to play." At UAB, we were still, without our coaches, we're going and like getting all the dudes, and we're just getting like individual work somewhere, just in like a little park or something, just to get some work. So like we weren't really ever. I won't say we weren't affected by it, but we weren't ever moved. We weren't ever like, "Oh, y'all, everybody, let's just go take a break. Everybody, let's just go on vacation. Like we're not playing this season." Like we were working. We were working to the start to the finish.
I feel like it was more of a motivation for you guys to keep doing it.
Definitely.
Alrighty. So who's someone that you look up to a lot?
As far as person or like athlete,
Anything.
I mean, I look up to my parents. They do a lot for me. You know, they've sacrificed a lot for me. So, I just look up to them because I know, like, even though I'm their child, it's not easy to sacrifice ever. Even for yourself, sometimes it's not easy to sacrifice. So, I just look up to them, commend them, for all the sacrifices that they gave for me.
Were they were obviously very excited when you got those first offers.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when the first one was Clemson, they were like, "Oh wow, like it's big time."
Um, Alrighty. So do you have any advice for people either wanting to play a sport in college or are in the recruitment process or just kind of, wanting to do what you're doing? Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, I got a few. First off, I just want to say, never be too prideful. Always the people in your corner, always lean to them if you need something. Like, don't ever think you're too old or too grown or too whatever the case may be to ask somebody for something. That's one. And then two, always follow your heart. Your mind may trick you sometimes, but always follow your heart. When it comes to like picking schools and making like big decisions in a small period of time.
Mm-hmm. What would you say for people who are kind of stuck between schools? What would you say to them?
Can you ask that one more time, please?
People who are kind of maybe like stuck between schools or don't know which school that they want to choose.
Yeah, like I said, like at the end of the day, like you gotta, follow your heart, and your heart never leads you wrong. It's always gonna take you to a place that's best for you and best for your best interest. So, just always take out the pros and cons, and just make sure that at the end of the day, you're going to be happy with your decision. It's always going to be like I could have went here. I would be happy here. I'd be happy there. But just make sure the place that you're at, you're happy. Because anybody can go to Alabama and be happy. Anybody can go to Clemson and be happy. But it's always like if I'm at Clemson, I'm happy there, or I'm at Alabama, I'm happy there. Like you could also be happy at the other place. You just got to make sure that the place that you're at is the best for you and your situation, and the best for your family and their situation.
Yeah. And do you think I mean, I know a lot of people that I know have transferred because they just didn't fit into either the team or the school. And what would you say about that?
I mean, all that comes with decision making. I mean, sometimes you make a mistake, but I mean, for those people who do, you should just know not to, the things that made you choose that school the first time, if you get an opportunity to choose another school, maybe you should use those, what I'm saying, those things to help you choose the next school, or just anything that was like down or anything that you didn't like that was kind of ill feelings about this other place, you know, make sure you address that and make sure that the next place is not the same.
Yeah, good advice. Very good. Well, that is all the questions that I have. Let's see if we have. Nope. If anybody else watching has any questions, feel free to ask now. I think they're a little delayed, so we'll give it a I may have missed some. You're getting a lot of love. All right. Well, if nobody else has any questions, Jordan, is there anything that you want to say to everybody watching?
I'm just happy to be in this situation, and I'm going to make the best of this opportunity.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, now we get a question. Oh, how long have you been growing? Oh,
How long have I been?
I don't know what that means.
What is it called? Oh, it says, how long have you been growing your dreads? I've been growing them for 5 years now, maybe 5 years. I'm gonna go with 5 years.
Nice. All right. You got a few more. They're coming up weird. Do you see these questions down here?
Yeah, a little bit. How do you feel about JUCO? JUCO, I mean, I'll be like, I feel like JUCO was not the switch in my mind, but the check mark in my mind. Like, yeah, like you really love this sport because because like at JUCO, like it's, you know, people think that high school is bad or whatever, but it's like when you go JUCO, it's like you start at ground zero. You know, when you're in high school, you probably start at like, you know, ground 10. You know, you got a little leverage.
Yeah.
But it's at JUCO, you know, you really have to, you know, start off with the white shirt, you know, and just earn your stripes. Like it doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter, you know, if you're out of high school, if you're a transfer guy or whatever the case may be, you know, everybody's in there to get out and, you know, find a better situation for themselves. So it's like literally an all out grind. You know, it might be hard for some guys who are at like bigger schools like I was. I mean, I wouldn't say it was hard for me because I had a mindset, but it very was challenging. Going from, you know, 100,000 fans and, you know, meal plan and, you know, the dining table and all that stuff to going to just like, you know, it's just the calf and it's just our stadium. It's just, you know, our fans, you know. So there's a lot of things that are different. But I mean, I wouldn't trade my Buco experience for anything. I mean, I love Butler. I mean, I feel like besides UAB, I feel like out of the other two colleges, I have more guys that I communicate to on the daily from junior college than, you know, any other school. So I feel like you really build a bond down there. You really build a family. So just things like that.
Yes, that's such a good thing to have, everyone. All right. Alrighty, well, I think probably about it. So thank you so much for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. And good luck next season and everything that follows.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you. Bye.